Ciao ragazzi, this is Richard Kharman from Serie A Sitdown coming to you from the land of Adreano here in Florida, USA on the golf course. And I'm here to give my 2-minute spiel about what Milan's season was here in the last season. I predicted the season for them to be champions this year. Not many else people did, but the season kind of went as I expected. Season started strong, kind of picked it up from last year, kind of using revenge from last year to kind of get this thing going. You see the emergence of Mike Maignan, new goalkeeper, Tonali, Leao, really fantastic, really kind of leading the team this year. The emergence of Giroud, the tag team with Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Yes, the injury to Kiar was big early in the season, but what we saw is Pierre Kalulu kind of step up and really take things over and really form a great partnership with Tomori. Between those two, Calabria and Teo Hernandez, one of the best defensive performances of the year. Inter may have been the most talented team, but this team probably showed the most heart. And leaving it, throughout the season. Of the Seven Sisters, they had the best head-to-head versus all of them, so deserved champions, really. And of course, leave it to last game day where they had to win. And our man Leao, 3 assists, huge season by him. I'm ecstatic about how the season went. This is a fantastic season overall. Great relegation race, but for Milan, as I kind of predicted both in August and September last year that Milan were going to win, I just felt that they had that mojo going. They're going to need that revenge after losing last year. And Pioli deserves all the credit in the world. So anyway, shout out to Anthony and Inter Worldwide and Football Worldwide. Thank you for giving me 2 minutes to talk about the podcast or talk about the season of Milan that was. And I'm going to say is Forza Milan.
Milan are champions of Italy for the 19th time in club history. And guys, there are so many individuals, top to bottom, in management, the staff, the players, to appreciate, admire, and highlight here. But we're going to try and wrap it up and keep it short. Starting with Stefano Pioli, from the Pioli out movement that took shape upon arrival, to guiding this team through a pandemic, to get second place last year, return to the Champions League, and now a title. There's not much more to be said about this. Stefano Pioli winning his first major trophy as coach is truly remarkable, and it's nothing short of impressive. He did a fantastic job keeping these guys motivated, engaged, and believing that they could achieve what they just achieved in the form of a Scudetto. Zlatan Ibrahimovic, despite maybe having a smaller role on the field this year due to injuries, his off-the-field presence cannot be understated, guys. The locker room speech at the end of the Sassuolo match, the post on social media recently regarding his desire to play through injury to deliver on his promise. This guy's a club legend. He is a legend of football, and he will be treated as such. Rafael Leao, Sandro Tonali, Fika Tomori, Pierre Kalulu, Teo Hernandez, Benacer. There's so many individuals in this squad who took massive steps forward in their progression, and they went from young players with a lot of promise and upside to true star-class players and players that I think Milan can build around heading into the future. It was a special season, guys, and I think it is only the beginning for what could be a very promising era in club history for the Rossoneri. Forza Milan.
Ciao ragazzi, Adreano here from the Calcio guys. First off, I wanted to say a big thanks to Anthony from Inter Worldwide for reaching out to make this Milan season preview video. I mean, it's been a hell of a season. I think it's a lot of ups and downs, but this team was able to do it when it mattered the most. After 11 long years of wait, this team is finally able to say they're champions of Italy once more for the 19th time in history, in club history. It's an amazing feeling for sure. But again, it didn't come without hard work, sacrifice, and and really believing. I think this team, this group really shined, and that's the big thing I think with this season. I mean, really creating this strong group, and it's a young group, but I think with likes of the veterans of if it's Ibrahimovic, if it's Giroud, Kier, other players, it didn't really matter. I think it's just the fact that this group was able to shine and really become a brotherhood was really what helped. For me, it starts with the man between the sticks, Mike Maignan, replacing Donnarumma the way he did. I mean, I don't think many fans expected it, but it happened, guys. So let's be happy about it. Our defense, I mean, big credit to them. Letting only tied with Napoli, conceding the least goals in Serie A with 31. It's a big credit to them. Again, going further up the pitch, it's won and lost in the midfield for me, and I think our midfield definitely was able to step up. If it was defending, going forward, scoring goals, getting assists, whatever it was, these players did it. The likes of Tonali, Kessie, Benacer, they really shined and they really stood out this season for sure. Going to our attack, I think maybe many fans would probably agree that our right hand side was definitely nothing to write home about, and maybe our weakest point within the squad. But again, I think the leadership and the guidance of players like Ibra and Giroud up top really helped in the tough moments, in the tough periods with the squad. Going towards the left hand side, a guy like Rafael Leao really emerging under that guidance as well, and just believing in his talents and continuing to grow and shine as a young star that he is. Credit to upper management with Maldini and company, Pioli as well for sure. Really, being the captain of this ship. And yeah, guys, it's a remarkable feeling. Obviously, they did it. we're champions of Italy, guys. Really in the business end of the season, I think they showed their character and they showed who they really are. Going 16 games unbeaten is no easy feat in Serie A. So it's definitely a credit to everybody involved. And for now, we can just celebrate. And I think this is something to be excited about, because I really don't think that this is the end. I think this is just the beginning of a special group, a special project, and a special Milan. So for now, I can only say, Pioli's on fire, siamo campioni d'Italia, and sempre, 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 Forza Milan. Ciao.
Quick recap for the season. Great end to the season for us. Very hard fought from the team. Very well done from Pioli. Pioli had his doubters. The team had their doubters, and obviously proved everyone wrong. Amazing signs from a lot of young players. When you look at the core of the team and the top performers, you got Mignon, who's only 26. You've got Teo Hernandez, who's only 24. Tonali, 22. Leon, 22. Tomori, 24. Kalulu, 22. All our key players are all very young players. So if we can build on that, we'll be fighting again for next season. Some absolute standouts. Tonali went from a question mark to an undisputed starter. He had an absolutely phenomenal season. Same as Kalulu. Kalulu, who would have thought? Coming for essentially peanuts from Lyon, a little bit of game time, didn't really sort of showed a little bit of promise, but not that much, and just absolutely exploded again this season. Same as Lyon. Lyon has the talent. No one really doubted that the talent was there, but some questioned his fight. He was called lazy, he was called all sorts of stuff, and obviously he was absolutely instrumental. Very good fight, very well done to Inter, pushing us to the very last game, and that's pretty much it. I could go on for days for more specifics and everything, but we'll probably leave it at that. Thank you.
Ciao a tutti, Alberto here from AllJuveCast, and I've been asked to put a quick 2-minute recap of Juve's season together. Normally it would be very, very difficult to put together a recap of an entire season for 2 minutes, but with Juventus this year, it's not that difficult, okay? Basically, we started off the season absolutely dreadful. Put ourselves in a big, massive gap already right from the get-go, but then we managed to find a little streak and put together some victories. The play wasn't too promising, but we were getting the results, and everybody's hope was through those injuries earlier on in the season that once the big guns come back, we would get rolling and then start finding more goals and not be this 1-0 FC. The problem is the big guns came back and we were still not thriving, okay, and we still struggled, and our play really was like that all season long. We were not controlling matches, okay, we were passengers in a lot of the matches, sure, finding enough results to ultimately get top 4 position, but there was a lot to be desired on the pitch from Juventus, okay? And even Chiesa, up until his injury, the big guns were not firing. And this is a criticism that Max is facing, and he will face going into next season, because if Juventus can put together another strong summer mercado like they did the January window, he's going to run out of excuses, and he's going to have to get these guys firing on all cylinders. It's great that he had Rugani doing well. It's great that he had DeCilio doing well, but we need the top guns going, and that's up to him to get them firing. So, yeah, he faced a lot of criticism. It felt a lot like 2018-19 season, where everybody was asking, is Max the guy? And that question will remain. In terms of this foundation and the building blocks, I don't see anything on the pitch that we can really take as a building block, as a foundation going into next season. However, the building blocks and foundations are basically in the personnel, because Cherubini and Arrivabene in a short period of time have done a fantastic job in sorting out the roster, and it looks and sounds very, very promising for what their plans and ideas are in the summer. Again, if they can put this thing together, get it right in the summer, Max is going to have absolutely nothing to fall back on, and everything's going to lie on his shoulders next season. So that's what we have to do as Juventini, okay? But one thing is for sure, this season, unacceptable from Juventus, and it needs to get better, and we need to grow, and we need to progress. We weren't able to from one year to the next over the past 3, and that's because we've had a carousel at the manager positions, and these guys are getting a lot of leeway and a lot of slack, and rightfully so. We have to get some continuity, and now, Max, you're going to get your continuity next season, but you got to step it up, and the players need to step it up on the pitch, need to see a lot more pride, a lot more fight out there, and a lot more grinta. Juventus needs to regain their identity. This was a soulless season, in my personal opinion, and I need a hell of a lot more from this club. And with a warrior like Chiellini leaving, it ain't going to get easier, but they need to find an identity for the squad, and they need to get firing. We did do well in terms of getting ourselves into a position to make things interesting. Ultimately, though, it fell down to not being able to beat any of the top 4 sides this season, not in a single match. Again, unacceptable from Juve's level, and it needs to be much, much better. So a lot to work on, but again, let's wait and see what Cherubini and Arrivabene do, because they've been doing great work in such a short period of time. They still have a lot to clean up and a lot of work to do on all fronts, on the pitch and off the pitch. Let's wait and see what Juve cooks up this summer, and then look at next season, Juventini. That's all we can do. And if we don't get it right, heads are going to roll. And it might not just be Max's. That's what I say. But as always, no matter what, Fino alla fine, Forza Juve. Let's see what we can cook up this summer. Ciao.
What is up, everyone? I hope everyone is doing well. I want to thank Anthony so much for giving me the opportunity to come on and talk a little bit about Juve's season as a whole. So obviously the last game of the season against Fiorentina ended 2-0. It's a really great representation of how Juve's season went throughout the year. They were very inconsistent, that mostly coming down to the coaching style of Max Allegri. He liked to sit back a lot throughout the season. That usually ended up leading to a lot of unnecessary opportunities for the other sides, and would end up giving us either the draws or losses in a lot of situations this season. Obviously, with the emergence of Dusan Vlahovic on Juventus, as well as adding Denis Zakaria, they both actually were great pieces to add, but unfortunately, they weren't really enough to boost Juve to where they needed to be in terms of the table. 4th is great, and getting into the UCL is an achievement, considering the issues the squad had this season. But all that being said, the goal has always been Scudetto for Juventus, so it is disappointing. But overall, I think there are some positives to take out of this season, mostly from the youth that has been developing, whether on loan or in our youth system, like Miretti, Fagioli, Rovella, Aqeel, Sule, just to name a few. I think there's a lot to look forward to next season, and I also congratulate AC Milan and their fans on a season well played, and for winning the Scudetto after a great run this year. But Juventus, really the keys next season is consistent coaching, consistent player performances from our key players. Obviously losing Dybala is a huge loss for us, and Chiellini are huge. So we need to fill those gaps as much as we can and continue the fino alla fine mentality and get back to that mental aspect of the game and that grit that makes Juventus. Thank you guys so much.
Anthony and everyone from Inter Worldwide, this is Nicholas from the Calcio guys. Just wanted to give a quick recap on the Juventus season. I hate to be so negative all the time because that's what it sounds like I've been doing all season, but I mean, any Juventus fan could admit it was a disappointing season. It's frustrating. It was a frustrating season, to say the least. I think Juventus has been making all these changes over the past few years, basically since the pandemic, right? Sarri to Pirlo to Allegri, and we've regressed. Talk all you want about the Sarri firing to go down to Pirlo. I just think it wasn't a fit. Regardless, Pirlo to Allegri, personally, I think it was a downgrade. Allegri comes in, okay, you can say what you want. We lost Ronaldo, Chiesa was hurt in January, but he was allowed to get the players he wanted. In January, he got Vlahovic, spent all that money on a striker. He got Zakaria, got Locatelli before the season started, and it was an extremely disappointing season. 0 trophies for the first time since 2010, 2011, 8 less points than last year. As I said, yes, it sucks to lose Ronaldo, but you expected Vlahovic to at least come in and replace his goals for half the season. And he had about 10 goals, if I'm not mistaken. So, a lot of people were frustrated with him. I don't see it. He scored. That's what his job was, but he had no service. And that was the problem with Juventus this season. 0 creative attack. That was, I think, the biggest issue with Allegri. He's a bit too old school in that mentality. So that was the most frustrating part. If I had to give Juventus season a score out of 10, I'd say even a 6. Push it to a 7 because we qualified for Champions League. But then again, next season with potentially Pogba and Di Maria coming in, sure, we're losing Dybala, but now this is Allegri's team. It's clear he's going to stay. He's going to have the 4-3-3. This is Allegri's team. He gets the players he wants for his formation. He needs to produce. You're in the Champions League, let's go far. Even if we don't win the Scudetto, let's go far in the Champions League. It's been a while since we've done that. And Allegri might be the guy for that if he gets his tactics right, because he has the experience. So we'll see. It's I think a lot of Juventus fans, including myself, are happy it's summer. We get to relax a bit, no more frustrating game days like what we saw against Fiorentina. Even though we're losing the Capitano, who I have on the back. It's got to have that next man up mentality in terms of leadership, whether it's Bonucci, whether it's maybe Pogba coming back, Chiesa maybe. I know he's young, but at the end of the day, fino alla fine, forza Juventus.
Ciao ragazzi, another Serie A season finally done and dusted. I'm happy to be saying that. As a Juventino, it's been a terrible, terrible season. However, we got the top 4 secured. Perhaps Roma should have been there. They were more consistent, or inconsistent, I should say. But nonetheless, we got the job done. We lost the Coppa to Inter. Got to congratulate them for that. Look, can't really complain. As a Juventino, we're used to winning in the last 10 years. So not winning something for once isn't so bad. It's a time to reflect, time to rejuvenate. A lot of faces leaving the club, such as Dybala, Bernardeschi, hopefully Moise Kean, Artur, Morata, Alexandro, fingers crossed. And we can revolutionise the team with some new signings for Max, such as we've been linked with, Pogba, Di Maria, players like that, who I guess they're not world class, but it will definitely help us improve. As for next year, look, I'm not expecting too much. As I said, it's a year of transition, so I'd be happy with top 4 again. Perhaps a better run in the Champions League. So I'm sad to be seeing Giorgio Chiellini leaving the club. I think he still has it in him. I think on his day, when he's fit, definitely one of the best defenders in the league, if not the world. Look, he's I guess age has caught up with him. His injuries, he's had a lot this year, and he just can't do it on a consistent basis. And he's ready for a new challenge. So thanks for his service. Look, I just want to congratulate the Milanisti for the title. It was well deserved in the end. So I didn't think they'd get the job done, but they did. and I think next year they'll do the double and do 2 in a row and secure the second star for the jersey. So yeah, congratulations to Milan, congratulations to Inter, and yeah, just happy for this year to be done. But Forza Juve, fino alla fine. And if there's a song that I could say that would sum up Juve's season, funny enough, I was thinking about this one today. It's I Get Knocked Down by Chumbawamba. And like the song goes, I get knocked down, but I get back up again. And I think, yeah, Juve doesn't stay down for too long. So thanks, guys. Thanks for this year. And again, Forza Roma for tomorrow. I'm off to watch the Barcelona game tonight. Hopefully some better football than what I've seen this year from Juve. Ciao, guys.
Dave for Inter Worldwide, doing my review of Inter's season. Well, it's been a couple of days now officially since we've lost our Scudetto to Milan. I want to say congratulations to them. They're a good value for their Scudetto, I can't deny it. But from an Inter's perspective, given how our season started, I think we could say that we've had a pretty good season. If we go back to last summer when we lost Lukaku, we lost Conte, Eriksen, Hakimi. I'll go even further. We lost Pintus, we lost Lele Oriani. So we lost those guys, and we were still able to rise from the ashes, pick up ourselves, and be competitive on all fronts. That's one thing that's very important as well. We were competitive on all fronts. In Europe, we made it past the round of 16 and first time in over a decade, and we beat a Liverpool team at home, the only team that beat them at home this season, and Liverpool are a finalist of the Champions League and may yet win the whole thing. So we can't really underestimate that victory over Liverpool. And we came within a couple mistakes of having a chance of even beating them in a tie, dare I say. Domestically, of course, we were super competitive. We won 2 out of the 3 trophies available. Of course, we missed out on the big one, which is the Scudetto. And I'm sure any Inter fan would probably want to trade this, the cups that we did win for the Scudetto, myself included. But the things being what they are, we can't say that the season was not a good season. In my opinion, it was a 7 out of 10. Probably would have been a 10 out of 10 had we managed to win the Scudetto, because it's not like we really expected to be winning the Champions League or something like that. So yeah, for me, it's a 7 out of 10 season. We were the best attack of the league, came within 1 goal of being the best defense of the league as well. We were beautiful to watch. We created plenty, scored plenty of goals. Of course, we missed out on a clinical striker to finish most of those chances. This is another discussion. But in general, it was a good season. Thanks, guys.
What is up, guys? This is Jackson for Inter Worldwide. What a crazy end to the season we've just had. Look, I just want to say first and foremost, and this is really difficult to say, but congratulations to AC Milan on winning the league. They were the most consistent team throughout the whole season. No one can deny that. But yeah, absolutely fantastic season. I think when we look at the big picture, you know, and I'm still processing all the emotions of supporting Inter as we all do, is it's sometimes difficult to overlook the whole season. And so I like to just kind of remember where I was at the start of the season when we brought Inzaghi in and we'd lost Lukaku, we'd lost Hakimi, and kind of where our expectations were at. And I know that they were not incredibly low, but they were definitely lower than what they would have been if those players had stayed and we still had Conte in charge. So I think when we were kind of sitting, hey, we got to try and crack the top 4, and I use that word try. We were trying to crack the top 4, having a run in the Coppa Italia, you know, looking back on all that and those kind of expectations, and then looking forward and being like, okay, well, we actually won the Coppa Italia, we won the Super Coppa, we pushed Liverpool to their limits in the Champions League, got out of the group stage, and then it came down to the final game of the season for the Scudetto race. So, look, I can't complain with that. I think it was a fantastic season, and it's really hard to process all of this like right now, but I know that this is how I'll feel in a month's time or 2 months' time when I look back and say, you know what, that was actually a really successful season, and we're building, we're creating the building blocks, you know, with the players that we're hunting down as well, with Bremer, Dybala almost practically signed. So look, I'm really excited for the future, and it's really hard to summarize the season in a few words, but I think just the fact that we had such low expectations and then they kind of got blown out of the water for a bit there, and then we were able to keep raising the bar as we kept going and winning games. And then so it almost felt like a disappointment when we didn't win the league. But if I told myself this at the start of the season, I would have laughed at myself because I would have said, well, the fact we're even in a running is incredible in itself. So, look, I think hindsight is a wonderful thing. And look, we could, I've had plenty of chats to other Inter fans, and we talk about if you could narrow it down to 1 or 2 games, what could have happened. But, you can't do that in this game. It's such a long season, and we just didn't capitalise. And AC Milan, like I said at the start, were just the most consistent team, and that's all there was to it. It's always Forza Inter. I look forward to next season. I look forward to chatting to you all next season as well. You know what it is on the channel, Inter Worldwide. Forever, boys and girls.
What's going on, everybody? This is Aqeel, and in this video I'd like to share my thoughts and feelings about Inter's current season. Look, we came second. Nobody's happy about it. Nobody's excited about it. But in my opinion, in my book, this season is still a success. We won 2 domestic titles under Simone Inzaghi. We competed until the very end, and we went past the group stages in the Champions League after so many years. At the start of the season, I was very skeptical with the appointment of Simone Inzaghi, but he did really well. He exceeded my expectations. He gave the fans a lot of hope, and we started to believe that we could actually win the title. And we were very close. We were right there. I think the Sassuolo game in the middle part of the season was a big dagger for us. I think we kind of lost track after that loss. And then obviously the Bologna game towards the end was the final nail in the coffin. But I'm not going to focus on the negative parts. I'm going to talk about the positives. The biggest positive this season was Ivan Perisic, Marcelo Brozovic, Nicolo Barella, Milan Skriniar, and Lautaro Martinez. I think that's our core now. I think we need to keep this core together. Focus on the next season. We have summer transfer window coming out. We need to address our weaknesses. We need to strengthen our squad and get adequate replacement for outgoing players. And we will be right there competing for the title next season. Once again, many congratulations to AC Milan for winning the title. Anybody who says that they don't deserve this is a sore loser. Anybody who can stay at the top of the league after 38 games actually deserves to be there, so give them credit where it's due. But rest assured, we will be competing again next season. We'll be coming hard at them. Until then, Forza Inter.
Forza Roma, quando entriamo in campo il cuore ci si sfoga, noi ci avevo il cuore rosso, mezzo giallo e mezzo rosso, e il tifoso romanista, e i tifosi è sempre più. Dai mister!